Hello everyone, Wayne Morgan here, TRI-SSI. I'm about to start displaying and showing the proper methodology of creating an asset management program, meaning you've got to collect the assets, understand what they are, capture them, and then around those assets you need to build a strategy to protect those assets, and then within those assets, how do you build that strategy? And then the final part of it always is how do you execute the strategy in which you prepare, which is, by the way, the most difficult part. So creating that strategy, getting that asset management program in place isn't that difficult. Actually, fairly simple. Folks just don't know how to do it. And the other part is they just don't have the time. So sometimes they just contract folks like me. I'm down here in South Georgia, and I'm going to build an asset management strategy program for a wastewater treatment plant that is being put back in service. It's been kind of sort of mothballed, and do you know what happens when you mothball something like that? You kind of rob Peter and pay Paul. That's what they've done. So some of the things that you'll see in what I'm about to show you is work in progress. They know, they realize this plant was built with a certain expectation many years ago. That expectation of growth didn't necessarily happen, but it's happening now. And rather than build a brand new wastewater treatment plant, they know that they can refurbish this one. They have another one on the other side of town that handles an awful lot of the business. However, location-wise and general need-wise, it's the right thing to do to put this one back in service. Now they've got to go back and refurbish it, recommission it, and then protect it for the long haul, protect the taxpayers' investment, so to speak. So I'm very briefly going to have this video to show you to start the process, and then I'm going to go outside and we'll start walking through and collecting some assets just briefly, and then talk about those assets as we collect them. Anyway, I'll flip back and forth. You'll see me, you'll see what I'm doing, you'll see some other things. But one of the things that I always start with, let me see if I can flip this around. Can't flip it around once you're filming. So one of the things I always start with are P&ID drawings. I always ask someone when a customer, when they say, you know, hey, we want you to build us an asset management program. And lo and behold, when I start to ask for those questions back of my needs to build the asset management program, they say, you might want to just come get it because this stuff's scattered everywhere. This is an old plan, I told you. The P&ID drawings, I grabbed them. They're all in general different areas, different locations. I just have to hunt and peck. Also, what you'll see are some manuals and things like that. So I start with the P&ID drawings, process and instrumentation diagrams. That gives me the flow of the plant, the general components, and I say general components that may be there, and it gives me a place to start with. Now, also, what you'll see here is my work desk for right now, and that's my being on site at this location in South Georgia. Okay, the things that I have, of course, are manuals. You can see this, and then a copier, and then of course my computer, access to the internet, because I'm going to actually build an asset management program inside of not just to hand them and say here it is, here's an Excel sheet with all your stuff on it. I'm actually going to build an asset management program of a program that they currently use, which is my Pure IO program. Okay, and I will be putting this location and the assets within this location inside of that program. But not only am I going to be doing that, I'll be building a PM program for them. I'll be building an inspection program for them. They'll have a work order program. They'll have an information program about this location. And then they'll have certain compliances built within that program. So that's what I'm doing today. That's what I've been doing here a couple days. And then what I'll do is notice that this is a scanner. These are the manuals. I have many of them, trust me. And I've been scanning manuals because at the end of the day, where do I want those manuals to go? I might want them to go into the PM program to say, here's the expected maintenance and here's some documentation associated with that. So I'll put it in the asset management program at the right location where it goes. But it also helps me walk away from here, grab my information as quick as I possibly can, go back to my office and start creating the asset management hierarchy, the asset management reliability program, which it will be, by the way, based on failures, modes, effects, and analysis program, all right, cause analysis. And then I can do that from my home location, but I can also have so much of the documentation. Now, I may not have everything, but these folks work well with me. And I may not get everything I want to start with, but what I will tell you is I'll have 95% of everything I need to build their program from a remote location, and then feed it back to them. They'll start to execute that program because I'm going to put it into a living program, all right, pure IO, and they'll start running the inspections, the inspection guides. I'll see that because I'll see it real time, and I'll see that they're following or not following. That happens too. I'll see that they're following the planned asset management strategy associated with what I build, but I'll also see whether or not the PMs that I build are effective for them, and watch them as they perform those PMs, close out those PMs, and then the new PMs roll out behind it. So hopefully in the future, for this particular location, it may have been mothballed at one time, but when it comes back, might be a few bumps in the road, because that always happens here and there when you're first in startup. That's when many of our failures first happen. But once they get the bugs worked out and the kinks worked out, hopefully this plant is for many, many years going to be a viable solution to their wastewater needs. Anyway, this is the first video of building an asset management program for this particular wastewater treatment plant, but it's the same thing for any asset management program, whether it be a power plant, a chemical plant, whatever that case may be. Anyone with major assets, motors, pumps, valves, and so on, they need to protect it for their investors, taxpayers, whomever. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you understand what I'm about to do. Next series, my next video will be outdoors, actually collecting what I found in the PNIDs and the one-line diagrams of flow. We're going to do a walkthrough and start capturing what that looks like. Hope it works for you. Stay tuned. The next video coming up shortly.